day, everybody. It is Calxiyn here, and today I'm going to be doing my reaction highlights and my review to ODDTAXI Episode 5 and the corresponding audio drama. But before we get into it, let me remind you all that you should subscribe if you do enjoy this video for notifications, and then also that's a good way to support the channel. All that fun stuff. You should check out the Discord server or following me on social media to connect with me, my viewers outside of just this video, and then also to get notified that way too, because sometimes YouTube is not very reliable. And thank you to all the patrons and YouTube membership members who allow me to make videos like these. If you want to see my full-length timer and subtitle reactions, as well as seeing these reviews early, you can check out becoming a patron or YouTube membership member. Actually, as I'm recording right now, there are 2 reviews already up for early access on Patreon, and so Patreon's always a little bit ahead if you want to support me while also getting those cool rewards and stuff like that. And then also, they get my exclusive full-length timer and subtitle reactions. As I already said, this is going to be my reaction highlights, so the moments that I have chosen to include, my biggest reactions, all that fun stuff, and then after, we do a little discussion and analysis about the episode, so I hope that you'll enjoy, and let's just get into it. Oh, okay, so we finally get to see her without her mask. Ooh, that seems sus as fuck, bro. Who was that talking to her? I feel like that's not her. I feel like that's not the same girl that was in the flashback. I feel like her eyebrows are a different color. I mean, I'll have to look, but... Aww. Used to make... What happened to her, sis? Oh my god. I'm like, this is so sus. I feel like they're not the same. I feel it. Oh, the phone. What was she doing? That's suspicious. Why would she do that? Why would she was that intentional or was that just an accident? Yeah, looking for men. Wait, what if he recognizes her? No! Wait. No! Yes! Oh my god. No! Oh no! Come on, Otakawa! Oh. Yeah. That's true, he has! That's so true! Oh my god. Oh boy, well, that's yikes. Whoa! Because of the game? Wait, maybe not. The game didn't happen yet. Oh man, she's having like an existential crisis. Oh yeah, the sugar daddy girl is charming and innocent. Whoa, don't talk about that in the taxi. Oh, Otakawa knows. Oh my god. Wait, what? Wait, why? Follow that car? Oh no, the murder guy is in the car, in the other car. Oh man. Damn, so they're just like, you know, to make her look better. That's fucked. Wait, was that the missing girl? Because that's what I'm saying, like, what if it was the missing girl? See, they look the same, so what if Mitsuya isn't really bro. Yeah, see, why? Oh my god. Wait. Why did the girl put the cell phone in for him? Wait, what? So the girl took the cell phone for the murder guy? Goriki! You went missing! Why are you here? Oh my god, I'm so confused. Goriki! It's definitely her though, bro. Oh damn, Otakawa. Whoa! He saw that? Oh my god. Okay, well that's not good. That's not foreshadowing at all. I don't like that. He's like looking at the water where they buried the dead body. Oh dear. That's you next, Otakawa. That's how I feel. He's gonna get pushed. This episode's so interesting. I love it here. Damn. Damn. He's leveraging information. Damn. Well. Oh, damn. What if that's, the clout chasing guy? Oh, you always say that, Dobu. That's what I'm saying! But it's not her. It's like a double, bro. Well, yeah, some girl just messed with his heart, you know? That's not nice. Of course he's upset. Oh, yeah, we haven't seen the date yet. Ah, here we go. I was just thinking as I saw the rose. Sis, you've been on your phone this whole time. Oh, damn. He's uncultured. He's, unclassed. Aww. Oh. Oh, a bath bomb? Oh, Kiki Hana, no. No. No, please. Oh no, Kiki Hana, no. Whoa, 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 okay. Did he actually win the lottery? Oh my god. Oh no! I knew it! Oh no! No, why, sir? Sir, no! Oh, why? He wanted the clout that much. He's gonna die. He's 10,000%. When I made my prediction because of the OP, he's definitely gonna die. There is no doubt in my mind this man is dead. Really? Oh my god. He's so cool. Really? Oh god. They're fucking crazy. Oh, she's so sus, bro. Wait, what is that? Oh no. He took out a loan. That's so sad. That's so fucked. Oh, Kiki Hana, no. How did Otakawa get it back? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it, because it went to the comedian guy. So that means that was in the future. They are in the future, because it was like, oh, this pen belongs to the Homo sapiens. Please give it back to them, right? So maybe he was circulating the pen just so it would go to the Homo sapiens. I don't know. That's interesting. So we got back into Otakawa's taxi, but at least we know that this is still in the future, that all of these are in the future. I was wrong about one of them being in the past last week. So it's gone from the bar lady to the doctor to Otakawa to the manager to Rui to the horse guy, the horse comedian, Baba, right? Then to Pumbaa, as we affectionately call him. Then possibly to the kid, right? Like to the kid who won the lottery, okay? And then the kid that won the lottery maybe gave it back to Otakawa next episode when he obviously like takes him out to this like strippers bar or wherever they're going, right? And so, you know, now that he has all this money, because he probably is like, oh yeah, Otakawa, like you're the one who picked the lottery numbers, like so I gotta take you you out, I gotta treat you, right? And so then that's how the pen got stuck. So then he was like, how did the pen get back in the fucking taxi? And like Otakawa didn't even realize. And so now in a future episode, like maybe 6 or 7, he's like gotten back to get it. Okay. All right, everybody, let us get into the review, and I really, really liked this episode. Like, I feel like there was so much tension, all of the pieces were falling, like, it was great. I'm super, super happy with it. So, obviously, we have the manager, and he's calling Mitsuya, and like, oh, you know, the lesson starts at 7, I'll come pick you up, stay there. And so, who knows where she is, but she does something so suspicious in the scene that we actually do see her. So, anyway, he's like, yeah, like, drive right up to the speed limit, all that stuff. I'm picking up someone and I need to get to the studio by 7. You'll make it with time to spare. Well, I'm picking up 2 people, huh? Right? And he's just like confused because he thinks like, oh, they're gonna pick up 2 people at the same location, not like 2 people at a different location. And so here's the thing, okay? So here's what's like super suspicious about this. So the murder guy hands, I guess, his phone to Mitsuya, and then Mitsuya takes it and stuffs it in the seat. So what did he say? Was he like, psst, psst, like, hey, you know, like, take this and put it in that taxi. I'll give you like, I don't know, I'll give you like $500. And she was just like, $500 is $500. You know what I'm saying? Like, she obviously like had a conversation with him, right? Like, she's doing it for him because isn't that the taxi that is following them? And so I'm just like, I'm super sus about why she decided to do that, right? I guess, I mean, the most likely explanation is probably for money, right? Like, what makes the most sense is that he was just, you know, talking to her, I guess, outside of the window and like paid her. Or maybe like they even know each other already, and so there could be like that type of connection too. But yeah, I think that he just like paid her to do that, and she was like, yeah, what do I care? Okay, you're just asking me to put a phone in some random guy's car, like that's fine, right? And so here's the thing, I feel like that she is not the same. I feel like that she is not the same girl that we saw in the flashback. Like, she doesn't have the earrings in, and maybe that's just because like she's going to practice, she's in more casual wear, but there's something about her face that she does not look the same, in my opinion. Like, I think that they totally did like the switcheroo thing that I keep talking about, and you can still see right in the back. We'll have to keep an eye on that license plate, because maybe it's a red herring, maybe it's not the same guy, but I'll keep a look, I'll keep looking at the license plate and check it, right? And so, yeah, so she gets some food, right? Don't eat too much. If you gain 5 pounds, I'm assuming that's pounds. Actually, kilos isn't pounds, it's different. Anyway, I don't know the conversion, I use pounds, so you're fired, right? But I think kilos is actually less, you know what I mean? Like, if you say 60 kilos, that's like 160 pounds or something. I don't think that's true, actually, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that kilos is like the less metric that equals more if you were to convert it into pounds, right? And so yeah, they have this little conversation about like the chicken and stuff. I have an attachment to it, it's my soul food, and she's just so cute. Like, I do think that she is like really adorable, even if she may be involved in like murder and everything, but she is really cute. What's soul food? I don't know, it's just a feeling. It's like local cuisine or the taste of your mother's cooking, right? And so this is where things get weird though, because she starts to look out the window and she's like, yeah, the fried chicken my mom used to make was good. And we see like Miho do the exact same thing when she was in the taxi thinking about like, oh yeah, like, no, I've paid my debt. Like, that's like looking out the window is a sign of like something more is on your mind but you can't say it, or like just general sketchy behavior, right? And so look at her, she's like, oh yeah, the fried chicken my mom used to make was so good, and then she looks down and she looks sad, like as if she doesn't want to be here or she misses her parents or something. And so I'm like, well, what if she misses her parents because like she's the missing girl, or, you know, I don't know, right? Because the whole thing I thought is that the missing girl swapped with the original girl, and that's actually the missing girl right there. You know what I mean? The missing girl isn't the one that died, it was like the original girl. And so maybe she's sad that she can't go see her mom, because now she's like living this like double life type situation, I don't know, right? She's pretending to be under somebody else's identity so she can't go back home. Don't you think she gets too much special treatment? And I'm just like, bro, like, you know, you're asking him, but he's the manager, he's the one who decides about the special treatment, and he's just like, you know, it can't be helped. Keep working at it, Mitsuya. Didn't you promise your mom you'd follow your dreams when you came to Tokyo? Yeah, but, and so, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that there's just something, I feel like, does he even know that they swapped? Does he even even know or tell them apart? Because that could be interesting too. What if he doesn't even know? But yeah, then she stuffs the phone in the seat, and obviously that is what the murdery guy, the murder gotcha gamer, as I guess we'll call him, like, gave her, right? Like, to do, and that's why he can track Otakawa's taxi. At least I think so. So I'm just like, It doesn't seem like we have the taxi in the shot quite yet, but I'll look when the camera, like, pans more, I don't know, horizontally, I guess? Anyway, what? Don't whine, you're the newest Mitsuya. But see, she was the one that was the good dancer, and so I feel like that she's not Mitsuya, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, that's what, the fanboy was saying, was that, you know, her dance moves have gotten sloppy. So she's not the newest, right? Unless they killed the girl that was here before, you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be the newest because you were the best dancer when you debuted, so why do you need to work harder than everyone else, especially at, like, the dancing, right? Unless you're the newest because you murdered the other girl that was supposed to be in the group, right? That's what I think. And so anyway, apparently Ichimura is at a public bath, right? Which is kind of weird. It's possible she doesn't have, like, access to a bath at her own home or something at the moment, and so maybe she's going to the public bath? I'm not sure. Just head someplace I can find you easily. Sounds like a tough time. Yeah, handling girls requires careful consideration. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, this is like herding cats. You know what I mean? Have you seen those videos of the guy, like, with all of the cats, and he picks one up, but then, like, the other one, like, walks away, like, you know, feeding time or whatever, right? That's how and they're literally cats, right? Two of them anyway. I didn't think we'd be picking them up separately. Poor Otakawa. I deal with this sort of thing all the time, like pairings and seating arrangements. I thought it would be better to keep them separate. And I'm like, I don't know, there's just something sus, right? You were visiting the baths again? Yeah, and so I think that Otakawa recognizes her, and he was just pretending that he didn't know. Like, he was just trying to suss it out, and I think that he'll have a conversation with Kikihana in the next episode, probably. Because, like, look at that face. Like, he definitely recognizes her, right? Here it's the bath additive you mentioned before, right? So I like how he gave, like, you know, he gave the girl what she wanted. He gave her, like, you know, a bath bomb or something. Like, that was nice. I feel like I've seen her before. Where? I'm not sure, maybe on TV. And, like, look at her face. She's just like, oh, I hope this isn't one of the guys I've been texting, right? But he's not, you know. If you recognize her face, you must have come to her concert before she debuted. She keeps her face hidden. Is she an idol or something? See, I feel like he's asking leading questions. It's not like he doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that he knows, but maybe he's just, like, trying to fish out information from them, if that makes sense, so he can tell Kikihana what's really up, right? That's not it then. I've never been to a concert. Forget about what happened today. So he's just like, you know what? Don't worry about it. Like, just forget about it anyway. Like, you know, because he may realize that she has been talking on these dating apps to people, so it's possible that he has seen her on the dating app. So he, like, changes the subject. He's like, yeah, just forget about it, okay? One way or another, she'll become a public figure someday. I consider myself something like an authentic bartender. I really like that. You mean you've heard a lot of things? And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. And so she's, like, on her phone, like, constantly. And I even noticed that, like, during the date scene, which I think is probably because, again, she's, like, talking to people and stuff. And so, yeah, they say, like, I think that they both ask if Rui is coming, right? I can't keep up with her ambition. You can work at your own pace. And so I like this shot just because I feel like that with her, you get the sort of vibe of there's, like, because he says, like, oh, you have your, like, innocence and charm or whatever. But I feel like that this is kind of like the innocent side, whereas this is, like, the mirrored reflection of, like, who she, like, truly is on the inside. And the calico style kind of really works with that because you have almost like a mask already, like, over her fur, I guess you could say, right? Like, there was the mask she wears when she performs, but then also you have this, like, obvious, like, fur mark that kind of separates, so it's like two sides of your, you know, of your face, like, very, like, Gemini vibes. She's incredible. I bet she'd kill someone just to get ahead. So this conversation happens before they have the truth or dare game, so she's just, maybe that's foreshadowing. She probably has, honestly, and, like, look at his face, because she's saying that innocently, but he's just like, oh, right, that doesn't sound good, what are you talking about? Like, he seems like, do you know something, right? So I think that they're definitely involved. I don't know how exactly yet. I mean, I think that maybe something just went wrong. That's basically the best way to put it. I feel like that something definitely went wrong and things went badly. Maybe I'm not suited to this job. There you go again. I don't know what my purpose is anymore. I'm not as alluring as, and that's talking about Rui, and I'm not as good as dancing as Mitsuya. You've got your own strength, Ichimura. Like what? Well, you're charming and innocent, right? And he kind of like, I feel like he's lying, I guess, because he's sort of like looking away. He's like looking up. Like sometimes when people are looking up, sometimes it's because they're thinking. Like I do that a lot. Like it's almost like you can see the answer if you just like look up in your brain, right? But sometimes it's also because they're like lying. So I feel like that, you know, innocent, he knows that that's not true, right? It's not very innocent at all. Don't I wear a mask because I'm not cute though? No, it's the agency strategy. Try to understand, would you? And then she talks about the exchanging the messages, and he's like, hey, not in the taxi, right? Because he's already, I think that he knows that Otakawa is already onto something, that Otakawa already recognizes her, and Otakawa is an old dude. So, right, like, that could give him more hints, and I think that he definitely knows now. Like, look at this face. He definitely knows. Look at this eyeball. He knows. He knows 10,000% now who she is, I think. Mitsuya's already inside. I don't like her. I liked things better before, right? And so I feel like that, again, that sort of hints at this thing that I've been talking about this entire time. Like, this idea that Mitsuya is not herself. Like, this is a different Mitsuya. You know what I'm saying? Because she's like, oh, I liked things better before. They could mean before they officially debuted, like back in the day when it was just them performing for those 5 guys. But, you know, she says, I don't like her. Right? Like, she doesn't like her anymore. It kind of implies that she did like her before, but now she doesn't. Right? So why not like her anymore? Like, you know, people change, but what if she's not the same person anymore? And what if, it would be interesting though, because they see each other without the mask, and so wouldn't you know that? You know, wouldn't you know that this is like a fake Mitsuya? Or have they made the girls like look alike so much that, that they can't even tell them apart? Almost like they're twins. Ooh, what if they are twins though? Because we already have twins. Like, they could be sisters. Like, the missing girl could be the sister of Mitsuya, and that's why they look so much alike, right? Like, it doesn't need to just be a coincidence. Like, they could look alike because they're, like, legitimately family. Then you got some sibling, like, rivalry type stuff in there. Like, her sister was chosen for the girl group and she wasn't, so they killed her sister, and now she gets her sister's spot. Like, I don't know. I don't know about that, but, like, it does sound, I don't know. Your innocence is your strength, but consider the time, place, and occasion, right? And so, again, shut the fuck up in front of the taxi driver, right? I feel like that's basically what they're saying. And see, even more so towards this point, right? Okay, well, first of all, we have to talk about the shady guy. What taxi driver would agree to this, though? Like, are they, like, so desperate for money they'll take this degenerate? As a taxi driver, that's the number one thing I want someone to say to me. Follow that car. Why, though? That's so sus. Like, that guy's so seedy. Like, I would be like, excuse me. Like, that's not very nice. Like, you know, this is stalking. He's, like, participating in, like, the stalkery of this, like, poor man, right? And so I feel like that's, like, so sus. I feel like I'm like, why did the taxi driver agree to this? And anyway, we see obviously murder guy is in the back seat. It's hard work, driver, but I want to show them the view from the top. I've got a chance. That girl I mentioned earlier, Rui, is a pure carbon gemstone. So instead of saying a diamond, he keeps saying that. I think a passenger mentioned her, and so obviously that was the fanboy who has now won the lottery, by the way. We'll talk about that later. I'm not talking about a diamond in the rough. She's a proper carbon gemstone. Why not promote her alone then? That's not how things work these days. You have to promote them as a group. And besides, while I feel bad for the girls who drove earlier, you need people to prop up a carbon gemstone so it can shine even brighter. And so that, I think, is kind of the idea behind why the other girls wear the masks, though. It's almost like it's instead of having the money split between all 3 of the girls, it's almost like you put all of the money just into Rui. It's almost like instead of like a square where like the 3 girls are just in the square and all the wealth goes up this way, you know, it's a triangle where the other 2 girls, like everything just feeds into Rui instead. I feel like that's almost like how it is, right? And so, yeah, he sees himself as a jewelry designer, I guess. Without me, it's difficult for the world to spot those carbon gemstones. So he is basically saying, you know, like, that's why he needs the other two girls, to make Rui look better, because sometimes the world doesn't know what they want. Meanwhile, we do see the other taxi back here, but it's kind of hard to, like, see the license plate, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. But anyway, by the way, driver, could I get your business card? Ideally, I'd like to use the same person to drive them around. You seem tight-lipped too. I won't always be available, so don't get your hopes up. But he gives him a card anyway. And then, right, he sees his name is Otakawa, and I think that he starts to, like, notice, as also driver, you should help us advertise. Could you keep our flyers in your taxi? People actually want them. I wouldn't have to work so hard if success came easily. And so, anyway, I don't think he looked at the card yet, but he does, and then he notices, and that's why he starts to ask about the dash cam. But Otakawa has some questions of his own, right? Is your office in the place with the bar on the first floor? Yeah, that's it. You know the place? I was just thinking about how once I drove a girl there, and I'm so sure that that's the missing girl. Like, I'm 10,000% now. About 2 weeks ago, like, has it not been 2 weeks since her disappearance, right? And so she must have been from your agency, and so look at him. He looks away, and then he's like, right, it was probably one of the girls you drove today. The only group we manage is Mystery Kiss, maybe. Girls that age, especially the ones trying to be idols, all look the same to me, and I'm like, I feel like that Otakawa, it's so interesting because he always knows more than he lets on, but he never lets us in on it, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like that's his character, is that he knows that it's the girl, you know? I feel like he knows that it's the missing girl that he drove to their agency. He knows, like, all of these, like, different things. He knew about Dobu and Miho, right? But, like, he just doesn't let us in on it until he tells another character, which is super interesting, because you may think, like, oh, but don't most things work like that? But not necessarily, right? A lot of characters have, like, inner monologue where they will basically, like, go through their clues, right, and, like, what they found so far. But the difference is that I don't think that we ever hear inner monologue from Otakawa. Like, not really. At least in the past couple episodes, the only character that we've really heard, like, this is my life story, was obviously the gotcha guy, right? Like, everybody else basically just talks mostly, like, within the actual story itself. We don't get a lot of, like, monologuing or, like, thoughts inside of the head type situation. And so it's really interesting because I feel like that Otakawa knows, but maybe he doesn't. It's hard to really tell. You can't get a read on him until he talks to another character about it. Like, it's kind of uncertain, right? You said you recognize the second girl. Yeah, so he's just like, oh, you mean Ichimura, right? It must have been her. She's a calico cat. The other girl was a little different, right? And so that's the thing, is that he's probably talking about Mitsuya, and Mitsuya is probably, like, the fake one, you know what I mean? And so look at him, Minnie even has, like, almost like a realization in his eyes, like, he's like, uh-oh, right? We're here, this is it, right? You sure about what? Where you dropped off that girl, right? And so he must know, right? Like, I feel like that this is basically, like, at this point, it's probably, like, a fact that the missing girl has something to do with the girl band and Mitsuya as well. And so then he looks at the card, right? And he sees that it's Otakawa. And so then he says, does this car have a recording device? And so I feel like that basically what's happening is that the girl group is affiliated with Yano. And it seems like that Dobu kind of confirms that later. Sometimes you see them in the news, you know, in stories about robberies. Yeah, I got one. Any chance I could get your data? See, so if anyone asks about your data, it's sus. And I think that he's doing it for, like, Yano. So I feel like that there's almost, like, these, like, a line split down the middle, I guess, of who's affiliated with who, and the girl group is on, like, Yano's side. And that means that also, like, Dobu thinks that Yano had something with the disappearance of the missing girl, too, right? So there's just a lot of interesting stuff. I thought it might be interesting to include some candid shots of the girls in a taxi for our next PV. Their faces are visible, though. We'll edit around that. I'll pay, of course, right? And you can see that he's getting, like he's getting nervous. You can have their data, like, from when they were in the taxi. No, I want all of it. And look at his face, right? It's like they're basically, like, both trying to say something without actually saying it, right? Like, Otakawa was basically trying to get around, well, you can have just their data, but not, like, the other data, right? And he's just like, no, I want all of their data, right? It's like, I don't know, they're both being very coy, I guess, about what they actually want. I can't make that decision by myself. I'll consider it if I can settle the privacy issues. And I think that was really, really good. That was very slick of Otakawa to say something like that, because, like, who knows who's been in this taxi, right? I'll be in touch, and then he has the pen. And so I guess somewhere, like, when we didn't see, Otakawa, like, gave him the pen or something. And I appreciate your cooperation regarding today and going forward. And so that's kind of interesting, is that, like, Dobu is very, like, you know, shut the fuck up or I'll kill you, whereas the manager is, like, very coy. And I feel like that's a nice, like, contrast to these two, like, or not even affiliated, differently affiliated gangs, I guess. Well, no, they are affiliated. They're all in the same gang, but yet, like, they're fighting against each other. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. I'm not that interested, so don't worry, right? And so, yeah. And so Otakawa goes back home, and the shady guy basically, like, drops, like, the murder guy off and knows, like, the location, or at least I think that's what it implies, is that now he knows where Otakawa lives and everything, and I'm just like, bro, why? Why? You know what I mean? Like, how is that guy allowing this to happen? Anyway. And so sometime later, or like later tonight, I don't know, clinics are terrifying at night. So Dr. Goriki's actually okay. He hasn't gone missing. He's like faked being missing. You know what I mean? I guess, just so Miho and everybody else would think that the clinic's like closed. Well, Otakawa, have you been sleeping well? Thanks to you, I haven't been. You haven't prescribed me more medication, right? What's with calling me for a consultation at this hour? You could go to another clinic. They'd give you the same medication, but he likes you, though. You're his friend, you know? If I were a hairdresser, maybe I'd think I've been building my vision for this guy's hair for so long, and this asshole went to another salon. He ruined everything, but I don't run a salon. I run a clinic, and I love that. I think that's so, like, I don't know. I think that's, like, really funny. I guess is what I'm trying to say, is, like, doctors don't feel so, territorial, I guess. You can go to any pharmacy or any walk-in clinic, you can see any doctor. But the hairdresser thing, like, that's definitely so true. I would not get my hair cut by anyone else except for my regular hairdresser. But, like, I don't know, it's like they're friends. Like, you know, I feel like that's what it's about. He wants to see Goriki. That's why he doesn't want to go to another clinic, right? I'm going to be closing the clinic for a while. Why? My medications aren't adding up. Were they stolen? Yeah, apparently it's been happening for a long time. Did you call the police? No, it's an inside job. If this gets out, I'll go from victim to perpetrator. So it seems like that he's saying that they will blame him and think that he's been running the entire operation, right? So I'm thinking about closing the clinic so I can pretend that it didn't happen. You're doing it to protect yourself. It's embarrassing to admit, but yes. Yeah, and so I feel like that's interesting, though, because I don't know if it's to protect himself. Like, yes, he's worried about getting pinned on it, but he already knows, like, who's doing it, and I don't think that he wants to turn her in. I think that's the thing, right? I think that I think Dr. Guriki knows that it's Miho, but doesn't want to turn her in either. Nobody said it was, right? Nobody said it was her, right? And so, but he seems like he knows that it was her too. And so he's closing the clinic also because he doesn't want to have to turn her in. Because if he's like, well, bro, it wasn't me, it was actually so-and-so, like, he needs to turn in so-and-so to save his ass. So the only way to save his ass and her ass is just to close the clinic, right? She's been having some money problems. That's not enough to accuse her. And then I remembered something. A little while ago, after dropping off a hippo guy, I saw Dobu and Miho together in an alley at night. And so that's sort of interesting because, like, we see a lot of scenes where Otakawa isn't present, right? But you have to wonder, like, how many shots are also someone's vision. Does that make sense? Like, it wasn't just showing this to us because, like, you know, they were showing it to us, like, as a third party. They were kind of showing it to us out of Otakawa's vision. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like that, I don't know, it's very hard to explain, but for example, right, with the mystery kiss stuff, is Otakawa there? No. But the lottery guy's there, obviously Rui is there, like, all of the shots that we see, there's always a character that is, within the main story, like, present, I guess. But with, like, this scene, I guess you could say, like, you saw it from an angle that didn't make a lot of sense to be, you know what I mean? And so I feel like that just a lot of the shots of the show are from somebody else's eyes or somebody else's perspective. And there are shots that, like, don't add up like that. Like, you have the one with Rui and the manager, and they're both sitting down at the table. It's not like you're literally seeing third person or like first person vision or something. It's kind of interesting that somebody outside of the people in the scene most of the time have like witnessed what has been in the scene. I don't know. That's kind of a strange thing to say, but you know what I mean? It's like this scene wasn't just for the audience. Otakawa actually saw that, right? So I feel like that's kind of interesting when you think about it that way. And see, now we're hearing also, even though Otakawa doesn't say very much, like he seems to know a lot because he's like, oh yeah, Dobu knew about Miho, it makes sense, right? And so he's already pieced everything together, but he hasn't told us shit, you know what I mean? It's like Otakawa knows everything already, but we're along for the ride, which is very interesting because most stories, I would say, have the protagonist just as in the dark as us, and then as the protagonist finds out things, the audience finds out things, right? But I feel like that this is almost the reverse, where Otakawa is like, he's pieced together a lot of the stuff already. He's pieced together some of the plot threads that we've been seeing, but he won't tell us as the audience, and so it's up to us to be like, oh, well, you know, who knows this, and oh, could this be happening, right? Because, like, nobody explicitly stated that the girl that disappeared 2 weeks ago, like, somehow swapped or is Mitsuya, right? But, like, Otakawa may already know that, but, like, we're, like, on the fence about that. It's like, oh, but it could be, but we don't know for sure, but maybe he actually does know for sure. So it's just a very interesting, like, I feel like that's a very interesting way to write a story, right? There are plenty of people who look like her from behind. No, I could tell it was her, right? Because he sees everyone as, like, animals, if that makes sense, right? So I guess he has, like, different vision, you know? You've changed Otakawa. It's like you've warmed up recently. And it's just like, yeah, because, you know, this girl played with his heart, and so he did warm up recently. Unusually enough, 2 people asked to meet me today, you and then Dobu, right? And so it seems like that Otakawa was looking in the water, which I think is not good. I think that that's some bad foreshadowing. Are you gonna end up in the water, Otakawa? Are you gonna end up in like a tube or whatever? Oh my god. What if the body... Oh no, this is so bad. What if the body at the very beginning of the anime wasn't like the girl or like anybody else? What if it was Otakawa? Like, what if that's his ultimate fate? Is like he's gonna die, and like that body that was in the water, because I thought like, oh, that's a missing girl, right? Like, obviously. But what if it wasn't the missing girl? What if the missing girl is like still out there, you know? Like, what if there hasn't actually been a murder, or at least, like, that part, like, wasn't, you know? Like, what if he was the one in the wrapping and dunked into the water? Oh, no, I just totally missed my armrest. Ah, that's not good. I don't like that. I feel like that's something, like, I feel like that's foreshadowing, though. It's either that, like, he's thinking about, like, the girl, maybe? I don't know. Like, is this where they could have, like, you know, hid the body? He's either thinking about that, or, like, he's gonna end up there. Like, he's next, you know? You couldn't have picked a better place to meet. What's wrong with here? See, so he feels uneasy here, too. Like, there's something inside him that feels uneasy. So I feel like, again, that's another clue. That's either foreshadowing, like, he feels uneasy here because he's gonna end up here one day, or because he knows that, like, that's, you know, what the criminals do. They, like, you know, put a bunch of, like, weights on your body and no one ever finds you, right? You figured out who wants your dash cam data. First, I have a question for you. So Otakawa's using some leverage, you know? And I thought that this was really, really good. You always try to dominate the situation. That's how negotiations work. I'm the one helping you here. I thought we had a deal. Huh? And so, yeah, Otakawa was just talking to himself at this point. Wait, that may not just be him talking to himself. He may actually be pointing out that there's a camera. Oh, that's interesting, because there's a speed camera, right? And so I feel like that basically what he's saying, hey, like, I could speed right now, and then they would take a picture of you in my car and they're looking for you. I feel like, oh, that's actually smart. But that wouldn't incriminate Otakawa, though. He's just a taxi driver. He didn't know that Dobu was, like, a murderer, right? Like, he could get off on, like, plausible deniability. I thought that was random, but he's actually warning him. He's saying, oh, like, there's a speed camera. If I speed right now, they would take a picture of me and you in the taxi and know that we're connected, and then you couldn't meet me anymore, right? Because you'd get, like, caught out, right? And so I feel, and then Otakawa, I feel like he has this face where it's like Dobu's almost too dumb to realize what he was saying, right? Because he looks up and then he's like, oh, really? Right? Because he's like, oh, you're the type who would waste his wishes if he found a magic lamp, right? But I feel like that wasn't a genuine question. That wasn't a question for you. It was a spur-of-the-moment inquiry. I feel like that it wasn't. I feel like that he was trying to threaten him, bro. But I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. You and Miho are connected somehow, right? If you don't answer me honestly, I'm not telling you. You used Miho to threaten me. If you and Miho are connected, then the premise doesn't hold. Yeah, that's right. You told Miho to approach me, didn't you? I don't know crap about that. She did that on her own. I don't know anymore. Because at first I was like, oh, you know, she was approaching him because she had a bug on her and she was getting information for the police. But now we know that the bug is, or at least, I guess we don't know. But I think that the bug was actually the pen, and probably nobody knows about that. And so when the bug was in the doctor's office, I thought that that meant that she was wearing a bug and she was working with the police and stuff like that. But it actually seems like that is not the case. Like, she's not affiliated with the police at all. It just happened, like, the pen happened to be there, so there happened to be a bug, right? And so it seems like that she's affiliated with Dobu, but she is not affiliated with, I don't know how to explain it, like, she's not affiliated with the police. Like, she doesn't care about the missing girl. She's not trying to, like, solve the crime. She was just trying to find his weaknesses so Dobu could threaten him, right? Miho's been stealing the medication from the Goriki clinic, and you've been selling them illegally for money, am I right? And something else that was important is that the pen's not here anymore, right? Because think about if the giraffe guy had recorded this conversation. Like, that's obviously, like, not it, sis, you know? And so I think that that's sort of interesting, too, is they kind of found a way to, like, get rid of the pen by passing it on to someone else at the most convenient time, because if this conversation was recorded, that would be pretty bad, right? Answer me. That's mostly correct. That's cheap work. No wonder Yuno looks down on you. I'm the one shouldering Miho's debt, and she's paying me back. That's all there is to it. It's not a job. I answered your questions. Now it's your turn. Oh, I wonder if Miho got a loan from the same people where Kikihana got a loan. That would kind of be interesting as, like, a connecting thingy. Now that I know that, there's no reason for me to keep my promise, is there? Come on, bro. I'm surrounded by enemies. I made a mistake. I'm desperate, okay? I lost something that the boss gave me, right? And so I feel like he's talking about the gun. He probably went back for the gun, and then the gun wasn't there, and he was like... right? And recently, a video of some amateur claiming he'll catch me has gotten 10 million views. I'm having an awful time. Really? You're famous. Oh, that's funny. And so, yeah, obviously, that's the hippo guy. And so I just love, like, how we as the audience know, like, oh my god, that must be the hippo. Or, like, oh my god, that must be, they're talking about so-and-so, right? Like, I feel like that's so good, and it just, like, the tension was so good this episode. Because we know, but we haven't seen it yet. And then later in the dinner scene, we see that, obviously. If I don't get the name of the guy who wanted your dash cam data, I'll have to kill you, right? And so now he actually seems like worried about dying, though. Like, from before, that didn't seem to, like, make him sweat as much, but now he seems actually concerned. And so, yeah, obviously this is very descriptive, right? And so thankfully I'm quite good at figuring out exactly what people don't like. So I guess he got that from the water scene, but yeah, that's basically, like, as I saw that, I was like, oh no, right? Because I think that that's, like, foreshadowing. I think that's so bad. I think Otaka was gonna die in the water. Mystery kiss, their flyers are back there. So I wonder if that's why he agreed to getting a flyer so he could give it to Dobu. Yano, that asshole, was he sticking his paws into this too? So what did the manager say? He asked me to sell him the data so he could use it in a PV. Does that mean one of them is boss's classmate's daughter? And I'm like, like, it's probably Mitsuya, right? So... or Mitsuya killed the daughter so she could be in the band instead. Who knows? It could be a good idea to sell him the data with the parts he wants cut from it. But yeah, then he'd come back in, like, retaliation, though. That would be bad, wouldn't it? I'm not getting involved in your business. Otaka was just like, do what you want, but it's none of my business, okay? Like, stay away from me. Are you really that upset about Miho? And I'm like, yeah. Because, you know, like, they had, like, he felt romance for her. He thought that she was genuinely interested, and now she's not. Like, yeah, I'd be upset too. And so then we have, like, obviously a very awkward dinner scene here, because she is, like, on her phone constantly, and he's just acting, like, inappropriately, right? And so I'm assuming that he bought the suit and the Rolex, like, with part of his loan and stuff. And so I think she actually does take a picture of the dessert. And so she calls him, Kiki. Kiki, do you come to places like this often? I mean, I may come once a month. Wow, I've never been anywhere like this. Oh, yeah? She's still texting on her phone, and so yeah, then he holds up his glass, and then these other people that are like laughing at him don't laugh seriously. It's like, who let you in here? You know, like that's how it kind of seems. Shiho, when are you the happiest? When I'm in the bath. And so she says that to him too. And so this is actually like really interesting characterization for her, right? I grew up poor with a lot of siblings. The only time I could be alone was in the bath. But why does she go to the public bathhouse then? Right? Because like that's not alone. Like that's with other people. And so like maybe is all the Mitsuya stuff just a red herring? What if she's the one? I don't know. Anyway, poor, huh? I asked Santa for bath additives for Christmas. That's such a mood, though. You guys should see all the bath bombs I have. It's kind of ridiculous. I have a problem. You know, the ones that fizz up. And, like, I think that's, like, really cute. But I feel like he's saying, oh, yeah, I see, that's cute. Like, I feel like that he's noticing that they have, like, nothing in common. You know, that he's sort of seeing her as, like, oh, like, this is, like, a cute, you know, youngster as opposed to, like, an actual potential dating partner because there's, like, a 30-year age gap in between you guys. Anyway, is the bath at your house as amazing as I think it is? And so he's like, yeah, it's got jets and stuff. Of course it does. Really? Can you watch TV? Of course, right? And so he's just like, you know, agreeing with her. I'd like to visit, huh? What? I think it's maybe a little too soon for that, right? I feel like that she's gonna drop him as soon as she realizes she's not getting anywhere with him, right? Like, she can't go to his house, she can't get his money, like, there's just a lot, right? And so, I guess Yufin, maybe a house or something, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe, I don't know, like, some sort of, like, spa thing, because I know that there's public bathhouses that are, like, gender separated, but then you can have, like, you can rent a room that has your own, like, private, like, bath and stuff, right? Like, outside and stuff like that. Do you have a private jet or something? Look at the look in her eyes. Like, she looks so happy at the thought, but obviously that is not that rich. Aw, shucks, right? So she's just like, oh, damn it. So I feel like she's gonna drop him pretty quickly. And see, the only time she puts down her phone for those, you know, very, how do you say it? For, keen observers or whatever. How do you say? I forgot. Like, detail-oriented observers. That's not it. There's a phrase, but I don't remember. She only ever puts down the phone when he's talking about how much money he has, or like how his bath is and stuff like that. Like, as soon as she's disappointed, she picks up her phone again, because it's like, oh, I'll just talk to some other guy, I guess. You're a college student, right? That's right. And so she keeps like typing on the phone, you're so young. Why are you getting married? And so I guess that was in her profile, right? That she's looking to get married. You don't need to hold your glass. Oh, so that's how you guys do things. I think that she's starting to realize too. And again, that's why things are so interesting, because you don't know what the characters are realizing and what just you as the audience are realizing. Like, you don't know if she's noticing that he's like very, you know, he's not very classy, right? Or if that's just something that we're noticing. But I feel like she is noticing. I feel like she is noticing all of the stuff he's doing that is not like in line with, you know, like the restaurant that they're in and everything. Like, I feel like that maybe she is picking up on it. So what were we talking about? Do you actually want to get married, right? Yeah, it's always been my dream to get married. I think the sooner I can, the better. And I'm just like, oh man. So that must have been like the idea behind like the dating app, is that she was saying that she wanted to get married on the dating app. Being surprised with an engagement ring would be amazing. So I feel like that she's basically like, say there are like 5 guys. She may be planting that seed in all of their heads so she can, like, get a bunch of engagement rings, sell them for money, and just disappear. Like, that's sort of what I'm imagining, right? Because, I mean, like, you know, there could be, like, that she's genuinely trying to find, like, a permanent rich husband, right? Like, there could be that, and then she's just taken care of for the rest of her life, right? But, like, it could also be, like, that she's just trying to get, like, the rings, the jewelry, like, the stuff, so she can sell the stuff. In that case, would you? And so it seems like that he's almost gonna ask her to marry him right now, like right here, right now. And I'm just like, Jesus, bro, like you haven't even like been able to keep up the facade yet, right? And so then, oh my God, so this was the crazy part, right? Is that he won the lottery, bro. And I'm just like, oh my God, right? I guess he won one of the lot. Like, there's a bunch of different numbers. He won first place, bro. And I'm just like, that's amazing. Like, that's my dream. Imagine, like, oh my God. Anyway, and so that's just like amazing. It says he won 1 billion yen. Do you think that it's true? Like, that's nuts. And it's all because of Otakawa. And then in the next episode, he like treats Otakawa because it was his like number choices, right? And so I'm just like, oh man, I wish that were me. Not even I have that much, and I'm just like, okay, Kiki Hana, relax. He's a Rui fan, huh? Right? And so, oh my god, like, I'm, like, living vicariously through this episode. I wish that were me. I just want to win the lottery so I can keep making anime videos. Anyway, but I'm probably closer to her than I'm close, like, to, Lottery Guy or Rui. And so, anyway, nothing. Do you know about this? Everyone's talking about it right now. And so, yeah, so this is, like, the declaration of war. I catch Dobu by the end of the year. And apparently people are into this. I just think that it's kinda like, I don't know, I feel like that if he was a attractive human looking character, I guess like this would be more effective, but I feel like that, I don't know, but maybe that's part of the joke though, because she says like everyone's captivated by it and feels like he's like the perfect like vigilante hero or something, but like, I don't know, is he? Like, I don't really see it that way, right? And so he basically explains like, hey, you know, like Dobu is in the background, they, you know, they can't get caught, this is my sense of justice, right? You know, I'm not sure if he's a thug or Yakuza member, but the police are after him. The police haven't been able to catch Dobu. Well, that's because they're not trying, bro, you know? And so I'm just like, I hope that Tadachi is, careful, because I feel like that he could, like, die. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that he could, get killed doing this, right? And so then you even have, like, murder question mark, but here's the interesting thing. I don't know if this is intentional, but, like, you have this sort of shot where it does, like, boom, 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 but then you have, like, some of those things, like, linger on the screen. And so you have arson, robbery, murder, right? Because some of them go away, but some of them stay on screen. And so I know that that's just, like, the subtitle people, right? But, like, what if that's, like, foreshadowing or something? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be crazy? Because it's murder, like, right, like, on her, right? And so, like, you know, the assault one went away, right? The kidnapping one went away. The extortion one is still there because she's still, like, you know, doing the sugar daddy stuff. The fraud is gone. The sexual assault one's gone. And so I'm just like, isn't it strange that some of the things were left on screen, but some of them weren't? Like, what if that's, like, foreshadowing towards her involvement, right? And so, yeah, anyway, Tadachi does this little, like, you know, speech, I guess. As a matter of fact, I know people who were beaten half to death by Dobu, and I'm like, is that true? Right? Because, you know, they do say that Dobu beat up a bunch of, like, thugs or something of a rival gang, and so I'm just like, bro, if you know people, they're in a gang, too. I heard about it from a friend of a friend. Was that Otakawa? It's possible that some of you have met one of his victims, but he only beat up people that were in another gang, bro, so your friends are in illegal activity if they did that. But yeah, I do appreciate his conviction. And then he starts going on like a ramble, right? I'm sure some people have had their bike seats stolen, right? Like, we will catch Dobu to like solve the crime of the stolen bike seats. It was just great. I've been looking for a job for a while, but when I asked myself what I really wanted to do, I knew I didn't want to be a cog in society, right? So he's just like, he's like going on a whole rant, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even about Dobu anymore. I don't want to ride packed trains. I don't want to be a cog in society. I don't want to get a job. I want to be a YouTuber who catches the criminals. And I think that's just so funny. Because, like, you know, I don't know if this is his real sense of justice, to be honest. I feel like he just wants clout. And so basically what he's saying is, I don't want to be a cog in the machine. I just want to make a living off of making clickbait YouTube videos. And on one hand, like, is that kind of relatable? I mean, I'm here, clearly. Right? I too would like to make a living making YouTube videos, right? But on the other hand, I'm like, bro, do you really have that strong of a sense of justice? Or are you just playing it up? Is this like your character? Are you just trying to be a character and trying to say things that are relatable to people? Like that you don't want to be a cog in society and you don't want to ride packed trains and stuff. Like, is that really relevant to catching Dobu? You know, like I feel like, I think that this is actually nice though, because this may be true. While thinking about my life, I recalled a dream as a kid where I wanted to be a hero who helped people in trouble. I'm sure you guys did too, right? So like, this is all strategy, I feel like. He's trying to be relatable, right? So people relate, because people are like, oh man, like I had dreams like that as a kid. Like maybe this guy's on to something. Like I feel like that this video would be like, I feel like I could make a whole video on this in itself, because I feel like that how this video is constructed is actually how they like tell you to make a YouTube video, right? Like, you got the hook, which is catching Dobu, you throw in some relatable stuff so the audience relates to you, like a very cynical, like, you know, description of like what's necessary to make a YouTube video or whatever. Like, that is basically what he's doing. It's 2 minutes, okay, so we did stretch it out to the 10-minute mark, okay, not like last time when he did, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like that he's not that genuine. I feel like that he just wants clout, right? I'll put off finding a job and my schoolwork to do it. What will I do once I catch him? He'll apologize. I'll make him apologize. And then we get a very violent scene where he's literally like stabbing the Dobu on the wall. And I'm like, that is totally against, like, you know, this fictional website's like terms of service. That's definitely like, you know, that's threatening harm. That's not good, right? And so I feel like that, yeah, that's not great. No, we will, including you, person watching the video. So that's call to action. See, like, I feel like that the writing in this show is so good that they even make like the fake YouTube videos very accurate to what makes a good YouTube video. It's like a call, now it's a call to action. It's like, it's not just me, like, we're in this together. We're creating a community of people hunting down Dobu. Like, that's kind of how it is, right? And so, yeah, I find that very fascinating. I just think that that's, and I don't know why he said his university, because I feel like that's not good. Like, he's basically, and he put out his full name too. Like, he didn't do like a mask. He didn't do any like Phantom Thief attire or nothing, right? Like, Dobu is going to come and get him, and that's not good, right? And so, yeah, I'm very interested in seeing how this pans out, because he's like, together we shall defeat evil. Like, at this point, like, we're getting into, like, Death Note and shit, right? Justice will win. And I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, he's a bit, this video has received a storm of praise. People are saying he's so cool, godlike. And I'm like, I'm getting, like, big Death Note vibes, right? And I'm just like, oh gosh, like, I don't know. I feel like there's something just so sus about all of this, you know? I support you. Crazy, right? Yeah, it is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who in their right mind? But yeah, I find that very interesting narratively, though, because it's like he's appealing to people for clout, you know what I mean? Like, he's appealing to people's sensibilities about, like, justice. Like, I think that the difference between a character like Light, who I keep talking about, like Light Yagami, and, like, this guy, obviously, is that, like, Light didn't have a sense of justice as much that he had, like, actual ambition to change the world. Like, he didn't just do it because he wanted, like, you know, attention. Like, did he want to be God? Yes. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, Light wasn't a clout chaser. He genuinely wanted to, like, change society, right? In a way that probably wasn't great, but, like, that's the whole thing. Whereas I feel like that he is just pretending and putting on that sort of persona because that is what's, like, attractive to the audience, if that makes sense. Like, it's attractive to have somebody that, like, fights for justice. It's basically like, imagine if, like, Light was on TV. Like, I feel like that even in Death Note, like, there are girls that, like, you know, fangirl over Kira and stuff like that. So I feel like that it's just one of those things where it's, like, different motivation. I don't think that he has a genuine sense of justice, but he's just, like, he took the puck of, like, having Dobu in the background of his photo, and he's trying to elongate his, like, internet fame. You know, I guess that's what I would say about it, and it's just very interesting, like, how his video plays into a lot of the stuff that they tell you that you need to do to make a good video. You need the call to action. You need to cultivate, like, that community and get people riled up and feel like that you're, you know, fighting the good fight or something. I don't know. And so, yeah, I just think that it's very interesting, like, from that perspective, like, as a content creator and, like, you know, the stuff that they tell you to do versus what you actually do, right? Like, this is a 50-minute video. Nobody told me that this was the way, right? I would make a 8-minute video with 10 mid-rolls, you know what I mean? If I was following YouTube advice or whatever. And so, yeah, like, I just think that that's so cool that the show really knows. Like, the writer just knows. Like, sometimes you see, like, how do you say? You see anime that have video games in them, right? Like say SAO, for example, and people have done videos on why SAO's like gaming UI is garbage. Like, it's designed by someone who has never played a video game, right? But like this guy, like the author or girl, I actually don't know, the manga author, or I guess, is there a manga for this? The writers, okay? Let's just call them the writers. The writers of the show, they understand, like they know gacha games, they know that culture. They know like mobile games and gacha games in the Farmvilles, right? They know YouTube video culture. They know Twitter culture. They know what gets popular on Twitter. They know how fans like have a superiority complex if they were first. Like the manga writer just knows, like they're just so in tune with the culture that it feels real, because it is real, right? It's not like, you know, this is a video game, but it's like actually like, you know, a clunky like mess. Like it's not like that, you know, like the SAO type thing. It's like this guy, like the writers understand society, and you think that that wouldn't be so, you know, like rare, but I think that it is, because you watch other anime where they talk about these topics like mobile games or YouTube or like social media and stuff, and they just don't fucking get it. Like they just don't get it. Even not just anime, even like Western stuff. Like you can tell that like, you know, such and such was written by some old fart that has never used like even MySpace, you know, they haven't used Twitter, they haven't used Tumblr, they don't understand, right? But like I feel like that the writers of this show, they really understand, I guess, the formula and the way that all of these platforms work, because that's what I got my degree in, right? Like professional communication. How does social media work? How does social media kind of manipulate people? How do influencers and companies manipulate people? Like that's basically my entire degree, right? And so I feel like that it's so interesting to see a show actually get it right, like actually hone in on how like these things actually like function, especially now that you have this like clout chasing guy who has kind of honed in on the formula of how you can clout chase, you know, the best, I guess, right? And so, and you would also think, well, you know, if everybody knows the clout chasing formula, why doesn't everyone do it? And I feel like that, like, that's a very interesting question that we could talk about another day. But like personally, I guess for me, it's like I know what would do better, I guess. Like I already know that, but I don't want to. I guess, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that a lot of people do understand like the whole clout chasing thing, like what would actually like, because there is like there's kind of a formula for success that you could use, and you would think, well, why doesn't everybody use that? And I think it's because most people, their like morals get in the way, and if their morals don't get in the way, well then they're the ones, right? Like there's a saying that the people that are at the top of a lot of our systems, are at a lot of like companies and stuff, are all like psychopaths, right? There's the psychopath test that I've been reading recently, and I think that that's so true, and I think that that's also kind of true of like, you know, again, like, don't come for me. This is just my opinion, you know, no allegations here. This is just speculation, not talking about anyone specific. Don't come for me. But I do think that sometimes some of the top, like, the very top, like, YouTubers are a little bit like that. And so the reason why they succeed where some of us don't succeed isn't just because, like, you know, we're not entertaining or our content's not this or our content's not that, but it's also because, like, we have boundaries and we have that focus on, like, the creativity and what we want to do, even though, like, I know that I could do X, Y, and Z and be more successful, maybe, right? And so I feel like that it's also because of, like, where your morals stop you from basically, like, you know, putting on that sort of act, right? And so I feel like that some people do not have that, and so, you know, that's kind of, like, the difference, especially because you hear about YouTubers that, you know, they put, like, their friends in dangerous situations for views and this and that, like, very just, like, you know, behavior that doesn't, like, care about anybody's empathy, or, like, that they don't actually care about, like, their audience or their fans and stuff. And so I just feel like that, like, yeah, I don't know, why am I talking about this? Why am I going on this tangent again? I forgot, but yeah, like, they just understand, like, the writers understand, and I think that that's just so cool. Anyway, let's get back to this. I could talk about this all day. Like, I would love to do a video about, like, social media and ODDTAXI specifically, because I just find it so interesting how they've been able to basically capture both, like, the gacha game side of things, and then also, like, you know, how addiction works, I guess, right? and how gotcha games can contribute to that, like the topics of addiction and depression, but also like the whole social media side. Like, it's just so fascinating to me. Anyway, and so yeah, she notices something's wrong, and he's like, that's all, right? Give me a minute, right? So she must know, right? Like, she must know that this is like, you know, he's shady at this point, because I feel like she would have to be like totally oblivious, because she's even asking, like, she sees that something's wrong, and he just straight up, you know, lies to her. So I feel like that they must know. Since I look at digit numbers all day long, I prefer to use cash while interacting with other people. You don't even carry a wallet, right? Because he just had all that money in his pocket. And so she, like, look at the look on her face. You can't tell me that she is, like, convinced by this act, right? She's never gonna talk to him again. She knows that he has no money, I swear to God. Okay, and so then we actually see the loan statement of, like, the interest rate and, like, when it's due and stuff. And I'm like, oh, Kiki Hana's gonna go into debt, bro. Because, like, there's an 18% annual interest rate, and then the next payment, like, when the payment's due in 2 payments, so he has to, like, pay this back soon. And, like, I feel like that this is just bad. Like, I feel like that I don't know a lot about, like, how interest works and, like, how this would multiply, but I feel like it's bad. Like, it's not good, you know? So then, we actually see that the fan is in Otakawa's taxi, right? And I think that, like, he's basically gonna, like, take him out, right? Because look at this, like, there's all these pretty girls, there's champagne, there's food, because he won the fucking lottery, right? And so I feel like that's something interesting, too. It's gonna be like, there are all these girls around. Also, thank you, some curly-haired representation. I know that my hair's straight today, but, like, you know, I love when I see the curls in the anime, right? And so, like, even like, this is at least the illusion of curly hair. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so he's gonna take him out because it's like, oh, Otakawa, this is all thanks to you, bro. Like, you know? And so I think, right. So I was gonna say, you know, all of these girls, but none of them are Rui, right? And so I feel like that, you know, that's something that the fanboy's gonna feel, is that you can be surrounded by all these girls and all this champagne and all this money, but all he really still wants is Rui. And I feel like he has to get over that, okay? Because if I won 1 billion yen or whatever, like, I feel like, yeah, screw so-and-so. Even if I did have a crush on them, I'd feel like I'm rolling in the money. But I guess that's the difference. Anyway. And so, yeah, we see this, like, loan guy, and it seems like he's taking out more money. Like, he's taking out more loan. And I'm just like, Kiki Hana, why, bro? No, stop it. Like, she already knows that you have no money, bro. And so, yeah, then we also see Otakawa talking to Miho, which is going to be interesting. I pick up repeat passengers in an area all the time while cruising. So he says something like that. It's fate that brought us together again. Do you believe in fate? I feel like that maybe it's talking, like, that's him talking to, the fanboy guy again. I'm not entirely sure. And so, yeah, and so then we see that she's, like, crying, and so it seems like that they have a conversation where she's caught out, right? But 1 billion, right? And so, yeah, they're having a bunch of conversations. Shh, keep your voice down. And then you have Otakawa at home, he's just lying on the floor or something. And so it seems like almost somebody's hiding in there. And so I feel like that maybe that's either the cat that we haven't seen, or what if that's, like, the murder guy just broke into his house and is, like, hiding in the ceiling. I know that sounds crazy, but, like, that's the only thing I can think of. So yeah, I'm so excited for next episode. I really like this episode. Especially more so from, like, a reaction standpoint, because I feel like narratively, there wasn't that much to, no, I feel like we went into quite a bit, though. We talked about perspective, right, like, you know, how, everything is kind of seen by someone, like, it's not just, like, the writer showing us something, like, that scene was actually shown, to Otakawa, so, yeah, we talked about that. I think we talked about some foreshadowing. I think we talked about, like, that there's very interesting, you know, subtext, like, to the show sometimes. It's like, you don't know what characters have picked up on and what they don't, because they don't have that inner monologue. Like, does the girl know Kiki Hana's full of shit? Does she not know? Like, it's kind of up to us, and I feel like the show is just so uniquely written that I could literally talk about it all day, but we will leave it here for now. So I hope that all of you enjoyed my review. Remember to check out the Patreon, the Discord server, all that fun stuff, and I will just see you in the next one. Bye!